I wrote a 27,000 word first draft for a book with ChatGPT. ChatGPT even gave me the title, the outline, and the first draft content. So if you've been wanting to write a book, not knowing how to get started or got stuck, stay tuned because this video will show you how you can quickly generate a book from idea to published book in 7 days or less. So let's get started. Look, ChatGPT is all the buzz at the moment. Some people love it, some people hate it. But the truth is, AI generated content tools have been around for years. I've been using AI tools for at least 2 or 3 years, and ChatGPT is just the newest kid on the block. But it is so valuable, and I love it because you can just generate so much good quality content quickly. Now, it's not just a case of typing a prompt into ChatGPT and telling it to write a book. You've got to guide the process. You are still the creator. You've got to make sure that the information is valid. It's actually correct. So you've got to fact check, and you've just got to go through an editing process. So I'm talking about a first draft. I'm not saying you're going to press a button, spit out 27,000 words, and then stick it on a Kindle and put it up on the internet. No, no, no. There's a process and there is a lot of work to do, but it's so rewarding, and you can really generate your book quickly and go through your editing and get to publish a lot faster than you normally could. So, are you ready? Let's jump over to my computer and I'll show you how it's done. So here I am in my ChatGPT window, and you'll notice I'm using ChatGPT Plus. I did upgrade about a week ago. You notice I do use ChatGPT a lot. There's a lot of past chats there. And the reason why I upgraded is firstly because I want to support them, because I do use ChatGPT a lot. I use it every day. ChatGPT Plus gives you a turbo mode, so your content is generated a lot faster. You can access ChatGPT even when the servers are under high demand, which can, as you know, if you're using the free version, it can be either slow or you just can't get access at all. And you also get access to new features first as they become available. Now, if you're only going to be a casual user of ChatGPT, just use it every now and again, then you probably don't need to upgrade to the Plus. I did write my 27,000 word draft on the free version, but towards the end, ChatGPT brought in some restrictions on how many prompts that you can enter in an hour. So I found that sometimes I come up to my limit for an hour, but that didn't matter. I just I'd take the content that I'd already generated, and I would start formatting that up and laying that out while I was waiting for ChatGPT to allow me to enter more prompts. So I still got it done. So that is the story of ChatGPT. The other thing I want to talk about here too is that it's not as simple as just telling ChatGPT to write a book. Okay, you have to be the content creator, and you've got to you've got to let your expertise and creativity shine through. And so I would recommend that you write a book based on your subject matter. So where you're a subject where you're a subject expert in, it's a great place to start, because then you can identify the information, whether it's actually correct. You do have to fact check. ChatGPT also does repeat sometimes. So what we're doing here is we're going to be creating a draft. The first draft is now up to you to go through and edit it and mold it into some stunning content. So let's get started with the first prompt. And I'm just going to copy this in. And so saying, I want you to act as a topic expert and write a book on a topic. And I'll just expand on this a little bit. So in this case, I'm going to say, I want you to act as a health and wellness professional or health and wellness expert. So we'll get rid of this. and write a book on the topic of intermittent fasting. Okay. If I get the spelling right, that would be absolutely wonderful. Funny thing is with ChatGPT, it's pretty clever. Even if you get some spelling wrong, including tips for beginners and experienced fasters. And then I'm also going to say here, include fasting plans for weight loss and weight maintenance, and also include important health considerations, right? Because I'm not a doctor, I don't pretend to be one, I haven't even played one on TV. So obviously we want to put the warnings in, so fasting isn't for everybody, and so before people consider fasting, they should seek medical advice from their primary health practitioner. So we want to put that in. That covers you from being sued. It covers them from hurting themselves. So basically, we've just expanded that prompt out, and we've given ChatGPT some context. We've given it some instructions, and now we're saying, do you understand? So we're just going to press enter. All right, so it's telling me, it's actually started to write, which every time I come into ChatGPT, it does something a little bit different. We don't want it to start writing yet. Okay, so we'll just can that, but it understands what we want to do. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to say, okay, please suggest some titles for this book. So I'm going to paste that in and let ChatGPT do its stuff. Okay, so it's done a pretty good job there. I think I like intermittent fasting made easy. And sometimes you can, like what I do sometimes is I use part of one title and part of another title and just sort of stitch them together. Let's just go with number 4 here. Okay, we're going to go for this one. So now I'm going to say, now I could say proceed with number 4 and it will start writing an outline, but I want to get it to write a more detailed outline. So I'm going to say, write a detailed outline for a book titled, and I'm just going to copy this in. Hang on, wrong one. This one. I'm just going to Command C or Control C, and I'm going to put this in quotes and paste that in. Please use attention grabbing chapter names. Because once again, you put this up on Amazon or something like that, you want your chapter names to be either raise curiosity or to drag people in saying, yeah, that sounds like me. chapter names. So let's start with that. And so now it's writing our outline. Now, once again, we're going to be using this as a guide, as a starting point. This is AI after all, and there is no doubt going to be some additional information that you want to include. And you can see it's doing everything that we've asked it to do, and it's created a 10 chapter layout for us. So now we've got that. That's a basic outline. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to open a new document, and then I'm going to come back here. I'm going to paste in the title. Actually, what you got to do, because I'm in dark mode, so I'm just going to hold down Command Shift V or Control Shift V on a PC, and that will bring that text in without all the other formatting. Going to hit that as a title 1, and we're away to the races. Okay, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to take this outline, and I'm going to copy that into the document as well. Okay, so now we've got our outline. Now, you may want to add more detail. So this is a very basic outline. And what I would normally do if I wanted to have a really comprehensive book with lots of really good information, I'd expand on these sections here. So what we can do is now we can say, this one. Let's say this one here. So we could say expand on chapter 7 to include more information. You could say use cases and examples. Okay, and hopefully what we'll do now, what it's doing here is it's actually writing the chapter. We didn't want it to write the chapter, we just wanted it to expand on that that outline section. But you can see the outline initially just had multi-day fast, intermittent fasting for athletes, and combining fasting. And it's bringing in more information, right? And it's bringing in examples and that sort of stuff. Okay, so it is expanding out, but it's not really doing what I want. Now, because I want to, once again, I want to generate a draft for a full book. These responses are reasonably short. Now, if you were just doing a short ebook, so for a lead magnet or something like that, this would probably be fine. But the other thing too is it's not writing in the style that I want. I want the book to be written in a conversational style. I want the reader to believe I'm talking directly to them. Okay, so let's just try another way. I did experiment with this the other day when it started to sort of not give me exactly what I wanted. And you can see here, I tried this one, this prompt here. So I'm going to come across and I'm just going to put this into my chat. So I'm going to say update chapter 3 section of the outline to include more subsections, and see what happens there. So sometimes you do have to play with it to get what to get something out of it that you want. and this time it's doing what we want. Okay, so I'll include this prompt in the prompt guide, but if you try one way and it doesn't work, then you can try another way and generally get what the outcome that you're wanting. And this is the outcome that I wanted. I wanted to really blow out the outline. So now I can come in and I can highlight this and come back to my intermittent fasting now, and where we've got here this tiny little section here with the three things, we're just going to delete that, and we're going to paste the expanded version. And of course we can come in and just so to make it easier to read, we can format that so we know exactly where each subsection starts and what each subsection. I think that's it. Anyway, so you can obviously go back to to ChatGPT. Okay, put a space in there. All right. I'm not going to muck around too much showing you. I don't know why I think what I'm going to do is just have to remove this formatting. Fighting with the system. All right. So as you can see, that's the way you come through. But as you can see, if you do this expansion side of things, then you can really fill out the content with good. So we're not talking about just loading up 150 pages with fluff. We want really good information for our reader, and this is the way that we can go about doing that. Okay, so and then what you would do is then you would just go through each of those areas. If we want to do another one, we could just copy this in again like so and say updates with section 4, and it will hopefully do the same thing again. And there we go. So it's doing it again. It's even written us a short introduction to the chapter. So you can see just by asking it for a detailed outline and then asking it to expand on each of the chapters to add more information in, you can see how quickly you can build an outline that's going to be solid. Okay. All right. So now, once again, we take this and we paste it into our outline over here and format it all up. As I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail with the formatting. I'm sure you get the idea, and I'm sure you're more interested in seeing how ChatGPT works to generate content versus how to format up a Word doc. So now let's look at how to get the ChatGPT. And actually what I'll do while I'm here, because we are including this you are getting all these prompts in the prompt guide. So I'm just going to come in here, and I'm also going to add this one in. So you've got that as an example as well. Right, and it said there are other ways, outline to include, so you can specifically tell it that you want to include specific information in sections. If you're a subject expert and you know that these are some important things that you should include in a section, you can tell GPT to respond. Now we're going to give it instructions on how we want it to write for us, because we're going to start generating our content. Okay, so it's going to paste this in, and it says, I want you to respond to all future requests in a conversational style and use standard book formatting, including chapters, subtitles, lists, and bullet points. Do you understand? Yes, I understand. From now on, I will respond to requests. So it's got it. And now some people might just go, okay, well, let's just tell it to write chapter 1. So you could say, write chapter 1, and off it goes. And it will write. Now, once again, some of the responses are going to be short or cut off because ChatGPT has a limit as to how many words or characters it can return in one prompt. And you can see it's following my instruction. It's using bullet points. It's using subheadings and that sort of stuff. So it's writing well. I'm just going to, when this finishes writing, okay, so that's finished writing there. And I'm just going to sort of review, is it writing in a conversational way? Because a conversational way should be more as if you're actually talking to one person. This gained popularity in recent years, a way to improve health and goals. Because if you just use the standard way that ChatGPT or any AI response, like AI general response is quite dry, matter of fact, and not very engaging. So I don't really know whether that was actually really in the style that I wanted. Oh, that's right for you. So I'm just going to say, rewrite that in a conversational style. So as I said, it's up to you to guide the AI. And you can see it's writing, it's a very easy to read. It flows, it varies the sentence length. That's the one thing. Another thing with AI is sometimes the structure is pretty robotic and like all the sentences are the same length and that sort of stuff. So that's one that's written that. I don't think it has really finished because we wanted this sort of layout. If you think it hasn't finished, you just say write more or continue and just see whether, okay, so it has actually finished. So that's that section. But as you can see, that's not a very long chapter, okay? So the way that I do it is I will say write the section, and I found that sometimes along the way, ChatGPT forgets some of the instruction, especially once you've got a few thousand words in there. I don't know how far back ChatGPT looks and remembers, so I just keep on repeating the instruction to use a conversational style and use standard formatting, headings, list, and bullet points. Okay, so I'm going to write this in. I'm going to paste this in, and then I'm going to come up to the first section of chapter 1. Right, and so this is how I do it. I do it subsection by subsection, not chapter by chapter. Now, when you do it this way, yes, there is a possibility that ChatGPT will repeat itself. So you've got to be aware of that, and then in your editing, you're going to go through. So now you may end up with, say, a 27,000 word draft, but by the time you go through and you edit it and you remove all the repetition and that sort of stuff, you may have carved off 5,000 words or something or other, which is fine. No, you don't, like, books aren't about the number of words, it's about the content, right? So there we go. It's writing a wonderful piece here. All right. So there you go. Once again, it's up to you as a subject expert to to read through, make sure the facts are correct, and if there's anything missing, then you can prompt ChatGPT to write more. So then once we've got this, we're going to cut and we're going to copy this, and we're going to paste this over into our book and start building. All right, so this would be a heading 3. This would be a heading 2, and then we just paste our text in. And then of course you're going to have to, because we're pasting in without formatting, you're just going to have to come through and just add the formatting. Okay, it's as quick as that. All right. So you just come through and do all that sort of stuff. So let's see. We'll do this section here. So we're going to do the tips for maximizing weight loss within it. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to copy this prompt again, paste that in there. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it in there. I will show you another way too, which can make it a little bit probably easier to edit the different things. I'm going to press enter, set that off to write. And we'll just wait for. And as I said, your role as the author, content creator, is to guide the AI. So when it writes a section, you may want to rewrite it to include some things, rewrite it to exclude some things. So right, so now you may want to expand on eat nutrition dense foods. So I could say, you know, that's great. What are some examples of nutrition dense foods? Okay, so one thing I like about using AI is that even if you are a subject expert, the AI will often come up with, with angles and ideas and things that you may not have thought of. So it really helps to build out your content and make it more comprehensive. And then as you go through and you read this, just by prompting for more information, right, you're getting more and more. So instead of just having this eat nutrition dense foods, right, now you can have eat nutrition dense foods and include examples, right? So you're just continually prompting more for more information. Before you plan, create a plan that fits your style, choose fasting schedule. Okay, you say, okay, sounds good. Could you suggest a fasting plan? All right. And so that's the way that you're just going to go through and just build out the information. So as you see areas where the AI has just given something general, go in and ask it to expand on that, provide more information, provide more examples. And as you can see, we're getting a lot of content very quickly, and it's good content. Once again, it's up to you to go through and fact check it. But you can see it's reading really well, and it works out to be a great starting point. So I'm just going to quickly copy this over into the Word document. And then I think what we're going to do, chapter 3, then I'll show you some other bits and pieces. Oh, I didn't copy that. I just want to sort of give you a lot of information quickly, and then you can go off and have a play with the system. Okay, so that's put all that in there. So it's going to come through. Tips. Okay, so if you're looking, stay hydrated. All right, so then, then we can sort of, it's up to you how you want to format it. All right. Okay. So even if we come now and we look at our word count, we're up to 1,500 words, and we really haven't even started yet. Okay, so you can see that you can generate a lot of good information quickly, and then obviously go through. Now, when it comes to formatting the books up, I use a tool called Atticus, and it's not a free tool, but it's a great tool because you can actually just create one manuscript, and then you can create ebooks for Kindle, and you can also format up books for print off the one manuscript. You don't have to create multiple manuscripts. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to say, okay, so we're just going to, where are we? Where's chapter 3? Chapter 3. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this, put this into the chapter title, and then I'm going to come here and I'm going to pick this up. I think that's where that ends there. I'm going to paste this in over here. And then I'm just going to read through, format it up and that sort of stuff. And over here, we can see what it's going to look like. Like Atticus comes with a number of pre-done templates for you. This is what it's going to look like on an iPad. This is what it's going to look like on an iPhone. This is what it's going to look like in print. Okay. And we can actually come through and change the layout if we don't want it indented. No, but this isn't a tutorial on Atticus. I just want to show you what a flexible tool it is, and it's a tool that I use and recommend it. I'll put a link to Atticus under this video. But so say you're coming through and you're writing something, and then you find that you want to you may want to edit things up. I haven't read through. But say, no, this is some additional information about the benefits of intermittent fasting. Okay. I really don't want to, because it does, obviously, when you're in the editing phase, it does take time, and you've got to think and be on point. But what I want to show you is that, so even when you're coming through and you may have to reword or remove some stuff if it's not accurate, you may need to add some stuff. So if I have to rework a paragraph, what I'll do is I'll rework it and I'll reword it, and then I'll copy it, and then just say, for example, I rewrote this paragraph here because it just wasn't working. But now I want the flow to be congruent. I want it to be consistent throughout the entire thing. And like, my writing style might just differ slightly to the way that the AI has generated, and that can sort of be a little bit off-putting to the reader. It will upset the flow. So what I can say is, for the stuff that I've rewritten, I'll just say, rewrite this in a conversational style, because that is going to keep the style consistent. And then I just paste in what I've entered myself, and it will rewrite it. Okay. So it's rewritten it in the same style that the rest of the book is written in. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm just going to come across into there, and then I can paste that new stuff in. Okay, so that's so we've covered coming up with your book title, coming up with your outline, expanding your outline out to be more comprehensive and to provide more information, how to prompt the AI through to write it. You should be doing it section by section, and then how to prompt for additional information just to really build it out and just provide as much good information to the person, so that they don't have to go off and look at, they say, well, eat nutrient-rich foods. Then they go, well, what are nutrient-rich foods? And they've got to go off and look for it. No, put everything in the book, and then it's a very comprehensive guide for them, and they're going to love it. Okay, and then come through, start your editing process. I'm very aggressive with my editing because I said I don't want any fluff or fillers in my books. I want every word to be there for a purpose. Make sure that you check for repetition and remove any repetition. Some things, yes, sometimes you do want to repeat something for emphasis or to make a point, but generally speaking, remove any repetition whatsoever. Okay, so that's the book writing and editing, the layout, and I said I'll put a link to Atticus underneath. And then, of course, there's other things that you can do as well. Okay, so sometimes when you're coming through the outline and you're doing it like subsection by subsection, you may want it to write a short introduction to the chapter. And what I would do is I would go through and I would generate all the content for that chapter, section by section. And then after the AI has written the content, then I'll ask it to write the introduction, because it now knows actually what's in that chapter. And then I'd ask it to write the conclusion. Okay, so those are some other prompts here. And saying down here, there's some examples on prompting for additional information, examples, and that sort of stuff, which is important, builds it out. And then you can also, get it to, to write and about the authors. So here, I've got write an about the author section for me, and then I tell it about me, and it goes off and it writes an about the author section, once again in a conversational style, keeping the tone and style consistent throughout. Then some other things, like you can use ChatGPT not just for writing your book, but then for for marketing your book. So what are the key blocks that make up a success? So if you want to make up a link, if you want to make your book available for download, okay, so you may want to be building an email list. You could just say, what are the key sections, blocks that make up a successful landing page? And it's going to come through and it's going to tell you what you should have on your landing page. Okay. And I'd sort of do this after you've generated your full draft content, because we're going to use ChatGPT to pull from the content of the book to fill out this information here. Right. So that's good stuff to have. Like, you don't have to have all those sections, but it's saying that's what's good. And then you can just say, suggest some headlines, and it should know that we've just asked about a landing page, so it should know. Yes. So saying, is this going to carry on the chat? And so there's some. So now not only has it written the draft for your book, now it's providing the information for your website. Okay. So that's really helpful. So you could go through and basically tell it to write each section. The other thing that you can do is you can ask it to suggest a book cover for you. Right, so you just come in here, and you can say, so, what should the book cover be? So saying the background of the cover should be gradient from bright green at the bottom to a dark blue at the top, written in bold, right? So in the center, there's an image of a woman with her arms raised in triumph. So once again, this is just a suggestion, but it's it's a starting point, even for the cover of your book. You could say, right, and write a engaging and attention grabbing Amazon book description. So now it's writing the book description. So when you want to put this book up on Kindle or whatever, there you go. So there should be a call to action at the end, right? There's some keywords for this. I probably wouldn't use ChatGPT for this. There are other tools. When it comes to SEO and keywords, I generally would use tools like Publisher Rocket or other tools that are hooked in with Kindle, and there's search volume, and these are just simply suggestions. We've got no idea about how good they're going to be, but obviously intermittent fasting would be a good keyword. Weight loss would be a good keyword. Fasting plans would be a good good keywords. Sustainable weight loss is probably, you'd have to once again do your research. I'm just showing you what you can do. Like, write a Twitter post to promote the book. So obviously, you do this after you've published your book, but you can see that ChatGPT is just absolutely amazing. Write Twitter posts, Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts. So I hope you found this video useful. I said, the whole prompt guide and everything is also available. So if you haven't already downloaded your prompt guide, there'll be a link below this video where you can go and download the prompt guide. And I'm really excited. I love ChatGPT. I know some people love it, some people hate it, but I'm really excited about what ChatGPT can do and how it can help. Just the caveat is, use AI generated content as a starting point only. Don't just simply tell it to write something, paste it in, and then send it out unedited and unchecked, right? It's a starting point, but now you think that I generated a 27,000 word draft in a matter of a couple of days, and then editing, if I had just sat down and concentrated on the editing without the editing and the formatting, without having to worry about doing any other client work and other bits and pieces, that would have probably been done in 2 or 3 days as well, 4 days. So basically could have had a solid quality book on the market in 7 days or less. And that's pretty exciting. Okay, if you've got any questions or whatever, please do not hesitate in commenting below or contacting me. You can reach me at tim@timcooper.au. That's tim@timcooper.au. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to know how you went and hear about the books that you write. Okay, until next time, you take care.